Hello and welcome to Sport Tonight. I'm Cecilia Mogbe in Lagos.
Sport greetings to you wherever you are in the world joining us. In London, I'm Austin Okonakpan.
All right, Austin is a loaded package tonight because we have the list for the Super Eagles in the match between Nigeria and South Africa and also Benin Republic in June. The squad list is out. The Super Eagles coach, George Finidi, promised yesterday that the list will be out this weekend. And this evening, the list is out. Of course, Maduka Okoye is back on the fold. Also in the program, we'll be talking about WTT, that's the table tennis contenders that will be taking, contender series that will be taking place in Lagos. That will also be in June. Aruna Quadri leading a pack of the top players in the world. They will all be in Lagos in June. Yes, we'll touch down on the WFL, the Premiership Super 6 taking place in Yenogwa in Bayelsa State, where Edo Queens back to the top are right now topping the table ahead of the final round of games that will be taking place on Sunday. Yes, MPFL is back this weekend. Match day 33, we'll be taking a look at that also. 3 weeks you have for the MPFL to conclude all the matches. 6 matches left because the deadline for each clubs to submit the names of their representative will be June 15. So MPFL will see how they can use the 3 weeks to conclude everything and send reps to the continent in the CAF Confederations Cup and also the CAF Champions League. Yes, the FA Cup is this weekend. We'll also be taking a look at that Manchester derby at Wembley. That will get our attention. And these coaches that are being sacked, that will also get our attention tonight. Austin, it is a loaded package. And if you're looking for what to really watch this weekend, there's so many things to look forward to. You have the Women's Champions League final taking place this Saturday, 5 p.m. And also, the playoff, the Basketball African League playoffs is back. Yes, and it started today. And for the Rivers Hoopers, they will be in action tomorrow. So it's a loaded weekend full of sports. Premiership may be over, but we have other things to look forward to, especially the MPFL. Austin, loaded package, you will say.
So Cecilia, I'm struggling to get feedback from you because of what is interfering in the background, but I know you're giving a rundown of everything that we'll talk about tonight on the program. I'm pumped up for it. The President's Federation Cup, the NWFL. We talked about it yesterday, and Edo Queens, it seems that they are really playing this one for the trophy. So we'll wait to see. Right here in England, it's all about the final of the FA Cup. And reports coming from England says Manchester United, they might just be saying goodbye to their manager, Eric Ten Hag, irrespective of whatever comes out of that final tomorrow. So that's a major talking point. We're waiting to see how it's going to develop right here. Eric Ten Hag and Manchester United has been a topsy-turvy ride, and it seems they're just tired of the manager, and it's time to say goodbye.
Lowest points, finishing 8th. They need to win the FA Cup to stand a chance of even getting into Europe. That's the Europa League. That's how bad it's been for Manchester United this season, finishing 8th. All right, let's start off with table tennis. Austin Aruna Quadri, the current king of Africa, is leading the pack of a star-studded team for the WTT Contender in Lagos. Now, this is something everyone is looking forward to because you're going to be having a lot of big stars. Hugo Cadrano will be one of those stars coming in. You have Dimitri also coming in. And of course, the women's singles, you have Shin Yubi also coming in to try and defend her title. There's so many top stars to look forward to, and this stage is set for the June 19th to 23rd. Of course, it's going to be at the Indoor Sports Hall of the Teslim Balogun Stadium. That's the Molade Okoya Thomas Indoor Sports Hall. That's where it will be taking place. You have up to $80,000 up for grabs. And of course, you also have the 400 ITTF table tennis world ranking points also for the champions. A lot to look forward to in this one, Austin.
It's a good one for Team Nigeria. I see this sort of a very good opportunity for them to, test their might against international table tennis players as they get ready for the Olympics. The WTT Contender Series is a big, event in the table tennis calendar. So Aruna Quadri and the Nigerian team, they will be looking forward to, see what they can do right there in Lagos. And, I mean, with what we saw from the qualifiers, 4 representatives and 4 of them picking the ticket to the Olympics, it means table tennis can only get better. It's another opportunity for us to see other players back home in Nigeria that can feature in this one and get us talking. But hey, all eyes will be on Arnold Quadri, top-ranked player in Africa, been there, done that.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see Fatima Bello. That's her right there that is doing this time with Arnold Quadri, because I love growth, and I've watched her grow. Alongside Esther Oribamiche, Edemofiong watching right there. She's also a legend in her own right. She's going to her 5th Olympics at the Paris Olympics. So it's a good one. I try not to talk much about the money, on play, because it might just distract some players. But with the players that are coming, I think Calderon has played Arnold Quadri before, and Arnold Quadri has done a good one over him. So I'm rooting for Arnold Quadri to, go all the way. But it would be good for us to get someone else to talk about, instead of us always talking about Arnold Quadri when we talk about table tennis in Nigeria.
Yeah, that's why you have all the big stars. I mean, top stars, 5 singles titles up for grab for that. So a lot of big top players to look forward to. Let's listen to the Executive Vice President of ITTF, Enito Nshoni, talking about the WTT Contender Series in Lagos.
This year it's going to be a bit tougher, of course, because you expect that a lot of players will be, going to training and camps for the Olympics. So we are not expecting the numbers like we had last year, 200. But what we're expecting this year is the quality. The quality is fantastic. I think 6 players in the top 30 in the world, or top 40 in the world in the men's section. The women not as strong, but of course, Yu Shubin coming back to defend the title she won in Lagos last year. A very exciting player, and we're really proud of how the event continues to evolve. But a few of the players, Dima Ovcharov, who had a fantastic tournament last year, is coming back to try and win the title. Haruna Quadri back home. This will be probably part of his preparation for the Olympics. But I think, when you hear names like Hugo Calderano, the thrill from Brazil, probably the most exciting player in the world, they're all coming to Lagos. So we think we're going to have a very big event, top quality event, and a lot of more Nigerian players this year. The Federation has started that program with a lot of young players coming through. Probably now one of the top 4 players in Nigeria, Matthew Kuti, 14 years old, and a host of other young players. This is their chance to play against the best in the world, to continue to develop. The coaches will be there to assess them. And also it serves as a tune-up for them for the African Youth Championships in Botswana. This year we're really hopeful that the ministry will support these kids to get them the funding they need to get there. But in terms of the WTT, another exciting festival coming up in Lagos next month.
Yeah, so much to look forward to in the WTT Contender Series in Lagos. Now, let's talk about the big one. This evening, you have the list of the Super Eagles, the players that will be playing that game against South Africa and Benin Republic. I'm just going to run through all of it. I mean, it's going to be the first game that Finidi is in charge as the head coach of the Super Eagles. I'm going to start off with the goalkeepers. Stanley Wambali, of course, of Chippa United South Africa, is the number 1. He's right there. Maduka Okoye, Udinese, Italy, is also there. Ojo Olorunleke, it's also there. Now, Finidi George mentioned yesterday in Lagos that the list will be based on those who went to the Nations Cup, and of course, a few additions. Now, let's take a look at the defenders. Chidozie Awaziem, Bovista, Portugal. You have Bright Osai Samuel, Turkey, Fenerbahce. Sadiq Ismail, Remo Stars. Now, is a defender, one of the home-based players that is making it into the squad. Shemi Ajayi, West Brom in England. Calvin Bassey, Fulham in England. And, of course, you have Benjamin Tanimu of Tanzania. That's where he plays, a former Benin Insurance defender. You go to the midfield, of course, you have Wilfred Ndidi of Leicester City in England, Rafael Yandike, Club Brugge in Belgium, Al Hassan Yusuf Abdullahi, Royal Antwerp in Belgium, Frank Oyeka of Brentford in England, Alex Wobi, Fulham, England, Fisayo Dele Bashiru of Hatayspor in Turkey. That's where he plays his football. Now, go to forwards. Nathan Taylor, Bayer Leverkusen in Germany, Victor Osimhen, Napoli, Italy, Kelechi Iheanacho, Leicester City, England, Samuel Chukwueze, AC Milan, Italy. You have Paul Onuachu, Trabzonspor in Turkey, Ademola Lookman, Atalanta, Italy, Victor Boniface, Bayer Leverkusen in Germany, of course. You have Terence Murphy of Nice in France. So these are the players that will be locking horns with South Africa and Benin Republic in June. The first game is June 7th, and the second one is June 10th. Now, the one in New York in Nigeria will be 8 p.m. Yes, 8 p.m. And of course, the one in Ivorian capital in Cote d'Ivoire against Benin Republic, that will be 5 p.m. Ivorian time. Austin, you've seen this list of these players. Were you surprised by it at all?
No. Instead, let's say welcome to goalkeeper Maduka Okoye, who's been decent, for Udinese in the Italian Serie A. Makes a comeback to the team, makes it competitive now because Stanley Wabali will have some good competition. And if they both decide not to impress, then there's Ojo Olorunleke, who's also been a very decent goalkeeper. He's got very good numbers for Eimba, and he's been with the team. He was with them at the AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire. He's been consistent, so he would just be in the looking. Anybody that, impresses will just catch the eye of. There's a new coach in town, Finidi George. So if you do so well, it's going to give you an opportunity to impress. Now there's the midfield that I've always been saying, what can we do? Still a bit tight. People are, asking questions, but I'm glad that Wilfred Ndidi is back. So we've got a Wilfred Ndidi in the mix now. There's Frank Onyeka. There is Alex Iwobi. Ralph Onyedika, who I feel is a very good balance. There's Alassane Yusuf. And there's now Rotin Fisayo also, who is a very creative, midfielder in his own right. So fantastic for me. Let's start seeing how we can build a formidable team and build a sort of Super Eagles that when there is no Wilfred Ndidi tomorrow, we already know the other guys that can jump into it and then do something. So I like that midfield list. Ask questions about defenders because people are not seeing William Troost-Ekong now. They're calm down. There was a time that that William Troost-Ekong, even when he was just called him by, God bless his soul, the late big boss Stephen Keshi, people criticized him. He was, at some point shaky, but now he has turned out to be a very good player that when he's not around, people are now asking questions. But there are other players in there that can actually get the job done, and that's what I'm talking about. This is the Super Eagles of Nigeria. When we don't see a name, we should not just start crying and asking questions. Well, I'd like to see Benjamin Taminu. Taminu did something good in the last game. He says that he showed confidence and composure. Last time he was featured in the friendly. Would like to see more of him. And it's a good testimony of what we've seen in the league. From the league and then going to Tanzania. Let's say I can break. When you go to the forwards now, the analysis is over because we've got too much options in there. So we expect, maximum display from these guys. Beat South Africa, get a decent result against Benin Republic, and start having the relevance that you deserve on the table. I like the fact that they have eradicated all of the talks about, the players retired, it might be sunny. We're going to have night football now. So calm down your nerves. It's going to be night football from 6 p.m. Weather is already looking good. Then we play football at 8 p.m. Nigerian time. So Cecilia, everything looks good. I like the list. People say, don't invite somebody that you know you. This is crucial times. If we need to invite somebody who will complement the team in training, if there's a need to, they get a chance to play, it's fine. If it's just for them to just come and look at the team and gain some experience watching Wilfred Ndidi and the other established players, fine. But I like this list, and I want to wish them all the best as they go on to take on South Africa and Benin Republic.
I love it too. It's not bogus. Just 23 players. You have 6 defenders, 6 midfielders, and of course, the attackers. That's where we have plethora of talent, 8. And that's what we love about this particular squad. Goalkeepers, as usual, you have the 3. I promise a team is ready to join us from Uyo in Akwa Ibom State. We'll take him now. Promise, are you there? Okay, when Promise is ready to join us, we'll just take a look at the list again, especially concerning the home base.
Good evening, Cecilia.
Okay, Promise, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, Austin.
Hi, Promise. Good to have you join us on the show. Yeah, good to see you.
Okay, let me just,
thank you.
Let's just get into this. I know, yes, MPFL expert, we'll get to that. But quickly on this Super Eagles list, is there any surprise here for you?
I think I'm not particularly surprised with the list, but I'm super excited to see Sadiq Ismail of Remo Stars being included in that squad. A player who's assisted his team to score 12 times. Incredible player, top-notch right back any day and time. I think for me, this list is just classical, if you ask me, and the first big assignment for the coach, that's Finidi George, and he could not have just brought in any other set of players other than these. And these are guys that have been very phenomenal. Demola Lookman has been all over the world by virtue of his fantastic performance on Wednesday night that helped Atlanta to a very massive trophy, the Europa League. I mean, the Super Eagles, I don't think the last time we had a squad of this magnitude should be sometime in 1994 that you had like-for-like quality. I mean, every department, so much quality in every department of the team. And we have no reason not to beat South Africa and Benin Republic on the 7th and, of course, the 10th of June, respectively.
We're eagerly anticipating that. And I think everyone is loving this list. Finidi George, first list as the head coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Yes, the World Cup qualifiers is in June 2026. World Cup qualifiers. Nigeria just 2 points from 2 matches. So 4 more to go. See what he'll be able to do about this for Nigeria to qualify for the World Cup, because he said that's his target, and also winning the Nations Cup. All right, let's leave the Super Eagles of Nigeria with the list done and dusted. We'll go straight to the MPFL. Now, we'll just run through the match days. I mean, the games that will be decided this weekend. There's a lot for MPFL, what they will do to ensure that, yes, we are able to finish before the deadline that was given by CAF, which happens to be June 15. Abia Warriors and Eimba will be in action. You also have Enugu Rangers and Bayelsa United, Heartland and Gobe United, Kano Pillars and Doma United, Katsina United, and Shooting Stars. So these are the games to look forward to. You also have other games that are coming up this weekend, where you have the likes of Rivers United, who finish with all their games, everyone now on 32 games. So we're looking at match day 23. We'll look at other games that are taking place this weekend. For those teams that are out of the Federation Cup, President Federation Cup, their attention will obviously be here now. Kwara United and Remo Stars will be in action. Lobi Stars and Alka United, Plateau United and Niger Tornadoes, Rivers United and Sporting Lagos, and of course Sunshine Stars and Benin Insurance. Benin Insurance is out of President's Cup, but then they will be going to Sunshine Stars to play their game. And Sporting Lagos going to Rivers United for another one. Rivers United have had missed run of the games that were outstanding, and their position right now not looking good. Austin, I'll come to you first before we'll come to Etim on this one. I mean, so many games to look forward to this weekend. But hey, which one will you say? Remo Stars, Kwara? Nah, over to you. I mean, Lobi Stars lost at the Federation Cup. We already know, President Federation Cup, but they will be hosting Aqua United, who of course scaled through against Zamfara Feeders.
And surprisingly, Kano Pillars will be hosting Doma United. This fixture that we saw in the President's Federation Cup. I think Lobi Aqua United is a big test for the Promise Keepers. Their season has been a total mess. They need to find a way to get back into it against a team that has been decent so far. Lobi Stars have shown that they want to compete for the league title. They've been consistent at some points. They go away, they pick points. They've won also on the road. So Aqua United must find a way. Now everybody will be coming back refreshed. Let's see what they can do against Lobi Stars. That's a very important fixture for them. I talked about Kano Pillars and Doma. There's also an important fixture in Rivers United versus Sporting Lagos. Sporting Lagos, this second stanza, they've been a bit impressive. Rivers United, we know everything went to those outstanding matches. It didn't go the way they needed it to go. But now there are 5 more games to prove a point. Can they start doing that against Sporting Lagos? We'll get to see. Can Rangers keep it going against Bayelsa United? I'm sure when Promise Etim starts speaking, he will tell us about that one. So pretty much tight fixtures here and there. Kwara United, Remo Stars, also another game that should get us talking. Kwara United is a team that I like. I feel that they are very disciplined. I feel like they know how to go out there and get the results whenever they are playing in the MPFL. And this is Remo Stars that we know also have shown some level of consistency. They've shown quality. They've got good management going for them. I actually left the part of Ishmael for Promise to come and wax lyrical about the MPF solid defender. And you can tell that with the way Remo Stars are playing, it tells that if you build the right environment, particularly leading it to good infrastructure, you will see the quality in players. Let me go to Promise before you take you, Cecilia. Promise is a big one coming up for Aqua United. Yes, we're pumped up about the Super Eagles coming to Uyo, but are the fans also looking forward to the league returning, particularly with how Aqua United have been all season?
I think for fans of Aqua United, they are not very comfortable with what has happened with that club. If you have two players that have scored 14 goals, that's Chuba Friday 8 goals, and the young man who joined midway through the season, that's Sani Suleiman, who scored 6 goals. Add 2 of them together, that's 14. That's the same tally that Ali Mishikiru of Remo Stars has actually got in this campaign as at March 32, 14 goals. So promise keepers basically are side that usually are used to scoring.
I'll need to pause you, promise. I quickly got to that. Hold your thoughts. We'll come back right back to your Sports Tonight on Channels Television. Let's just go on this quick break. Take a breather. We'll come back. We'll get right into the Nigeria Premier Football League. So don't go anywhere. Stay with us.
Welcome back from the break. Our Promise Air team was trying to analyze some of the games coming up this weekend. Let's go back to him. I promise you, we're talking about some of the games coming up this weekend. Especially Austin mentioned that how the fans in Uyo are ready to receive Aqua United being back from that long break.
I think it's been very difficult for the Promise Keepers this season. They began the campaign in Uyo, played 2 games, went to a kit by virtue of the fact that the stadium needed to be prepared for some international games. And the players literally struggled with that tough in a kit and not the best of results, if you ask me, in the few matches they played there until they got to the Pavio Stadium and were firing all cylinders. But I think the turning point for the Promise Keepers this season has been the acquisition of the young star, Sani Suleiman, who came in with some renewed vigor and came in with some sort of quality to really help the Promise Keepers to score as many goals as possible, which has helped them a little bit to give some ray of hope possibly for the team to escape the draw. But this weekend's game against Lobi Stars is one significant game that they need to, because prior to match the 33, Sunshine Stars had a game in hand against Rivers United. And Sunshines were, below Aqua United. Aqua United were out of the relegation zone as of the time the league was brought to a halt. But unfortunately, Sunshine got the better of Rivers United, and that has pulled them a little bit away from the relegation zone. So Aqua United back to the relegation zone. They understand how significant this particular fixture is for them. But again, Lobi Stars going for something unique by the end of the campaign also understand how relevant this game is for them. So I think it's going to be a blockbuster out there this weekend between Lobi Stars and Aqua United. But it's also a big match, which for me will also be very defining. That's Aqua United and Remo Stars. Remo Stars has not been really fantastic in the second round of the campaign. I don't know exactly what has happened to that team, but I can tell you that this weekend's fixture is very critical for them, and they can get to the Lorraine Township Stadium to pick something out of that game, perhaps to put themselves in contention for something good by the end of the campaign.
Yeah, if you say Remo Stars have not been good second half of the season, they are second on the log, and I'm like, what else do they need to do? Yes, we know they've lost 10 games so far, but hey, it's just Rangers have lost 9 also if you look at the table, and they are on 56 points. Rangers topping the table with 57, so that's just a point behind the league leaders, Rangers. What else could they do differently? I mean, Austin was talking about... Yeah, okay.
I was talking from the point of the depth in that Remo Star squad.
Okay.
I don't think, maybe aside from Yimba International, no team in the league currently has that sort of depth in squad.
Okay.
I mean, when you have some of the best strikers in the league any day and time, that squad is one squad that can actually smash any team. The way they were playing in the first half of the campaign, yes, maybe they would have been 5 points ahead of any other team in the league currently. So I expect so much from them. And if they can get to win against Quara United in Ilorin, I think it will really, really put them in pole position and perhaps prepare them for the next 4 matches that will define the league campaign.
Yeah, let's take a look at Rivers United. I mean, they had the time to actually see how they can, about 7 matches that they needed, the rescheduled games that were played where they had to go on a break for. By the end of the day, they're still 9th on the log. After 32 games, they are currently on 9th on the log and 44 points from 32 games And that's not the result you want to see from a team that played on the continent and having lost 12 games so far this season.
Rivers United, they've had very, very difficult challenges this campaign. First, they had a tight schedule when it comes to when it had to do with the continental fixture. And away from that, the issues as regards the top managerial position in the team, Stanley Goma currently not with the team again. And we have Vance Ugeyi, who's taken over the reins. And for me, I think Rivers United were very disappointed that out of those number of matches they played, they were not able to amass the number of points they were expected. Unlike, for instance, maybe what was obtainable when the likes of Eyimba International had games to play like 2 seasons ago. They did very well. But we need to correct one problem in the league. And that challenge has got to be aligning our calendar with the CAF's calendar, because a situation where you had to put the league on a hold to ensure that a team plays as much as 5-6 matches to close in on the others has reduced the level of competition. So it's something that should be disturbing. It's quite worrisome for followers of the league. We need to begin to activate the process where we can align our calendar with CAF's calendar to ensure that week in and week out, while we play the continental games, the league also runs smoothly so we can have the best of competition. I think, aside the fact that few of these teams have had opportunity to play in the President's Cup, maybe, just maybe, they would have been deep in form.
Yeah, I go with you. Austin, you there?
Yeah, when you were talking about teams that have got depth, you mentioned anybody mentioned Remo Stars. I was saying you need to mention Rivers United too, because they've got the depth, but something actually just went wrong this season. It's only them that knows how they were going to correct it with these final games. Well, let's talk about Rangers. You can now tell that proper branding and structure can affect the way a team plays on the pitch. And Rangers, they've shown us with what you've seen of Rangers, the Flying Antelopes, are they bluffing?
Well, I think Rangers has been spectacular. Something unique has happened to them this season. They've gotten back their identity. I mean, the team is more closer to the fans in Enugu than previously. What the chairman of that club, what the management is doing differently is something that every other MPFL team should study. Because, I mean, while the team will play, they were actually playing their home games in Oka. I know how a lot of them used to travel from Enugu to Oka, which is about 2 hours journey, to see the games. But they had prepared the grounds for their return to the cathedral. And once they got back to the cathedral, a lot of persons are excited with the quality of football that Rangers International have been playing. Kazim Ibrahim has been very phenomenal for them all through the campaign. And there's something extraordinary that this Rangers team is doing this season, especially the interaction and the cohesion between the fans and the players and the team. It's a model I think every other MPFL club should study, because it's something differently they're doing that has really worked for them on and off the pitch.
I totally agree with you, because I was going to say, before we get into the players, could it be Coach Fidelis Ilechuku or the Amobi's influence? I used to tease Amobi that he went to Europe to do internship, studied the football, and brought it back to Rangers.
But we've also had people who've gone to Europe to study a few things. Stanley Goma has been to Real Madrid. Stanley Goma has been to quite a number of clubs. That also affected even the quality of what his job at Rivers United. So having some of this exposure and seeing how things are done in other climes could be very relevant in helping you to push your team to the next level. I think the Rangers example is what every team should emulate.
Before Cecilia takes it, there's an Oriental derby. Let's quickly talk about it. How careful should Eyimba be when they take on Abia Warriors?
2 brothers actually clashing at this point. Eyimba International, great opportunity they've got to still push for the league title. And I like the words of Kanu Wankwo, chairman of the club, who said yesterday that Eyimba will still push for the league trophy to win it again. So I think for me, Eyimba International must be very careful. Abia Warriors, certainly they have, as it stands, I don't think they'll be relegated, because the position they are currently on the low, 11th position, and that point they've amassed is enough. 44 points. That's about 5 points ahead of the team that is actually in 17th place. So they need to be careful. Eyimba must be careful, because it's the derby. You can't tell. A lot of factors could come to the picture. But again, Abia Warriors would love to prove their mettle and also show some sort of quality of which they have on the side this season. But for me, this is a big game for Imba International. And if they're to get anything out of the MPFL this season, maybe the league title or get a continental slot, this game is key.
Interesting. Right, let's leave the MPFL there and go to NWFL. Yes, so many surprises. Yeah, were there surprises? Yes, there was actually one, because you don't expect Bayelsa Queens to actually drop points at this crucial point. I'll just take a look at the results of what happened earlier today, where you have, match day 4 result, the championship playoffs. Heartland and Bayelsa Queens, who could have guessed this result, ended goalless. Yes, it ended goalless. And the game between Rivers Angels and Confluence Queens ended 2-0 in favor of Rivers Angels. Chiamaka Okuchukwu scoring the 2 goals for Rivers Angels. And Edo Queens and Nassau Amazons just 1-0, and that was enough for Edo Queens to move to top of the table. Let's take a look at the final round of, the table first. We'll look at the final round of matches taking place on Sunday. Edo Queens are right now top by virtue of that win over Nassau Amazons, who remains winless after 4 games and 3 wins, 1 loss. They have a goal difference of +6 and 9 points. Rivers Angels are second log after 4 games, yet to lose, but 2 draws and 2 wins. That's why they are on 8. Same with the Bayelsa Queens, also on 8 points. Goal difference is the same. Confluence Queens, the 4th. Nassau Amazons and Heartlands, the 2 teams are yet to win. Of course, that's why they are on 2 points after round of 4 matches. Now, the final round of fixtures taking place the same time simultaneously on Sunday. We'll just take a look at that. Edo Queens and Bayelsa Queens will be locking horns. And now, that's the game everyone will be watching, because the whole games are going to take place at the same time. Edo Queens and Bayelsa Queens in action. Heartland Queens and Rivers Angels, and Confluence Queens and Nassau Amazons. These 2 teams will be trying to see if they can at least pick up a point before they exit. Now, you can easily say the championship is between Bayelsa Queens and Edo Queens. I'll come to you first, I promise. I believe you've been monitoring the NWFL, the Super 6 taking place in Yenogwa and Bayelsa State. Now, start off with the Bayelsa Queens and Heartland Queens. Who could have thought that this game will end goalless after what Bayelsa Queens knew what's at stake, but this game ended goalless?
There was absolutely a lot to play for in that fixture, but no one expected that result. Bayelsa Queens, a lot of people, bookmakers, had given them the game even before the blast of the whistle, but that was not possible. But for me, I think it would have been a little bit better if they were able to get something out of this fixture, perhaps to put them in contention for the final day. But you've said that the NW PFL is between Rivers United, Bayelsa Queens, and Edo Queens. I think I beg to differ, because Rivers Angels could steal it. Yeah, Rivers Angels could actually steal it by virtue of the fact that they've got 8 points and they're playing Heartland Queens, of course, which bookmakers have already have the opinion that they will win. So if the game between Edo Queens and Bayelsa Queens ends in a draw, it means that Edo Queens will finish with 10 points and Bayelsa Queens with 9 points. That could put Rivers Angels in pole position to win the league trophy if they can win and amass a total of 11 points at the end of the day. So I think it's between the 3 sides. Okay. But either of Edo Queens and Bayelsa Queens, any of them that gets to win on the day, that could just be it, but subject to goal difference. And what happens also in the game between Rivers Angels and Heartland Queens.
I mean, it's tougher and tougher. Austin, I think we need to hear from the coaches what they're saying and your view on this one. Did you ever think that this will end goalless?
I didn't see it coming. It was a very important game, so I was expected to see goals, but it is what it is. It's the Super 6. Everyone is going for it, aside from the usual, teams that haven't, really turned up, Confluence Queens and Heartland Queens. But yeah, let's listen to the coaches, and then we'll come back. There will be more reactions for whatever they've talked about.
We did our best, but our best wasn't good enough for the 3 points. I'm highly disappointed we didn't win. You can't win games without scoring goals. We don't have anybody to blame but ourselves.
We are not here to give away points, irrespective we started badly. We want to make a statement We want to end the Super Six comfortably. This is an experienced team. We played them, and then, like I said, we have our game plan to win this match. Not a spoiler game. I'm not here to spoil anybody's fun. I'm here to amass my points to see where I can be in the table.
Yeah, but coach, you did spoil Bielsa quiz their run. But I totally agree with him. You know, with everything that Heartland Queens did in the regular season, it would have been disastrous for them to come to the Super Six and then just be a flash in the pan. So I promise you gave us an idea of what you're expecting. But with what you've seen so far, which team deserves to go all the way and lift the trophy?
That's too close to call, but I think Edo Queens may just maybe get the nod to win this. Though Bielsa will be banking on home advantage, perhaps this one. But I think that will really count because I mean it's a final game. A lot of people will be interested. But I'm also disappointed that Delta Queens didn't make it to the Super playoffs. I don't know for whatever reasons. League champions, one would have expected them. To go all the way. But take nothing away from the fact that if Edo Queens and Bielsa Queens fail to get the job done, Rivers Angels likely will increase their tally in terms of the number of trophies they win. They're actually the highest in terms of trophies won by any team in the female league in the country. So they could actually steal the show on the final day if Bielsa Queens and Edo Queens fail to get the job done. So I'm expecting good football, and I'm expecting to see the very best. Final after finals, of course, was played the other day. But I would love to see Edo Queens win this.
Interesting. And if you just take a look at pictures you're seeing right now, we have Rivers Angels against Confluence Queens, how they had to dig deep before they were able to get this result, with Chiamaka Kochuku breaking that deadlock in the 70th minute. And of course, in the 90th minute, she completed a brace for Rivers Angels. I completely agree with Promise what they said about Rivers Angels not wanting to let this slip. But let's get reaction from that game.
Before we came to this game, the situation we were was very, very difficult for us, and we said we are going to fight because we just take today match as if we are playing the final match, because if anything goes wrong today, that should be the end of Rivers Angel. So I think by the first 45 minutes wasn't an easy game for us because my guys were anxiety. They wanted to score by all means. So in that process, they ended up making a lot of mistakes. But by the end of the day, we were able to rescue the 3 points at stake.
Well, the first half, we really played our mind and we told the players to play based on the game plan, and they played the first half. Coming back to the second half, we saw a different ball game due to some lapses, and which we are going back home, going back to our hotel, to our drawing book, and come out fully in the last game.
Right, that's coming from Rivers Angels' reaction from that game against Confluence Queens. Now, time to look at the President Federation Cup. We'll look at the fixtures for this weekend. Quickly, the President Federation... No, we'll go to FA Cup, yes. President Federation Cup first. I'll just take a round of 16. I'll take a look at the round of 16 fixtures. Where you have, yes, we're starting up with Sokoto United and Eyimba, Sunshine Stars and Rivers United, Katsina and Kano Pillars. That's what the round of 16 is looking like. I'll go through other games also. Wiki Tourists and AFCC, KB United and Aqua United, Academy Warriors and Shooting Stars, Kurodu City and Inter Lagos, and Kwara United and Abia Warriors. That's the round of 16 for the President Federation Cup. Yes, it's time for the FA Cup right now. The big one this weekend at Wembley, Manchester Derby at Wembley, 3 p.m. Andrew Madley happens to be the man in the middle. That will be the man in the middle on that day. I'll come to you, Promise, a quick one on the FA Cup, because this is big. This is something that we are all looking forward to. Manchester United need to win a trophy at least this season for them to get a chance into Europe, and that would drop Chelsea to Conference League. And for Manchester City, already won the league. They would love to win a double after winning quadruple last time, after winning the treble last time, the Champions League and everything. Where will this go to? Because Pep Guardiola, okay, yeah.
I think Pep Guardiola is not satisfied with the possible outcome of his team this season because maybe he would have loved to see his team win the Champions League by virtue of the depth he's got in that squad and the quality of players and also so much money that has been spent by the owners of the club. So for a lot of Manchester United fans who think that maybe Man City will field not too strong a squad on that particular one tomorrow, I don't think so. Because Pep Guardiola will be going into this final, perhaps considering that this is an opportunity to make up for the Champions League, which of course is still actually slipped. When a lot of bookmakers were of the opinion that they were in pole position to win the Champions League. So this is a massive game for Manchester City and also a big game for Manchester United. And the coach may just need to do a little above average. Perhaps he needs to convince the owners of Manchester United that he's the man for the job next season. But if he fails to get something out of this game, this may just be his last game for Manchester United. I'm not predicting doom for him, but that's the honest truth because United fans could be very frustrated that a team that at some point, a lot of people were sure that the team will get Champions League football, but they ended up not having an opportunity to qualify for European football. It would be devastating for Manchester United. And they've been fantastic at some point, but the second half of the campaign has been terrible for Manchester United. And teams like Chelsea that were very woeful in the first half of the campaign had to do something extraordinary to come back to win and for themselves a place in the continent. So Manchester United fans will not be happy if United doesn't win tomorrow. And if the fans are not happy, I wonder what the club owners will actually say at the end of the day. But it's a big game that I tell you, Guardiola and his boys will be going into this one like a house on fire, trying to get the game, win this game and get a double, at least for the campaign.
Yeah, Austin, you mentioned earlier that, well, Ten Hag, well, I think maybe it's just a signature to for maybe the sacking to be official, according to reports from England, whether he wins this or not.
You know, he's saying that he's staying focused, despite reports that broke today. The Guardian actually, broke that story that Manchester United will say goodbye to Eric Ten Hag, irrespective of the result that comes out of tomorrow's FA Cup final. But the guy is saying, look, I have a big assignment tomorrow and I need to get it done because if Manchester United doesn't win, as you mentioned, no European football, So he's staying focused. He hopes to get that one out of the way and see if that, we give the fans something to talk about, and be happy because it's been a tormenting season for Manchester United and Eric Ten Hag. But we know Pep Guardiola and Manchester City, whenever they see a trophy in front of them, they just imagine lifting it before they play the game. So media in the United Kingdom are already saying it's going to be an easy final for Manchester City. It's going to be one-sided, blah, blah, blah. But hey, this is football where anything can happen. And Manchester United might just come out tomorrow and then shock us. We've seen it several times. But hey, we'll wait to see what will happen. I think that's where we should leave it tonight.
Yeah.
That's in London. I'm Austin O'Conakman. And everything you do, remember, let's keep talking sports. Bye for now.
I promise. Thank you so much for making our time to join us tonight on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Have a good night's rest.